Hi guys, this is going to be a 1 hour Pilates mat practice. We're going to get started then and begin lying on our back. So once you've made your way down onto your back side here, we'll start with the knees bent and feet grounded to the floor. Take just a moment there to line the knees and feet up with your hip bones. So a narrow stance with all 10 of your toes pointed forward so the feet run parallel to each other. Having the arms then lengthened all the way down beside you, but then pulling them slightly away about 45 degrees out, turning your palms up to face the sky and allowing your shoulders to really roll open. Lengthening out the back of your neck by stretching the crown of your head behind you, back of your workspace, while the chin lands about fist distance away from the chest. Let the eyes close to bring the focus more inward. Oh, here's the cat. He's right on time. He knows when I'm recording. Yeah, bring the focus inward, right? So we're going to start to really connect our mind and body through breath work. We're going to start by taking a deep inhale through the nose. And then a long and steady exhale out through the mouth. Again, a deep breath in. Make sure you fill all the way up. And then a slow and steady exhale. Make sure that you empty out completely, all the way down to the bottom. So that when you breathe in next, it pulls from the pit of your belly, draws into your ribs, and then it lifts into the top of your chest. Then as you exhale, you want to empty from the top of your chest, press down through your ribs, and really squeeze it out through your lower belly region. Your ribs will also expand out as you breathe in, filling up the lungs. And much like an accordion, when you exhale, squeeze the breath out from start to finish and let the ribs really draw and knit and pull back to the midline of your body. Keep with that soft, easy breath in through the nose, but now tightly purse your lips and really force the breath out with power. Right, audible and strong. It's physically going to change your powerhouse. When you breathe in with ease, your belly rises and the core muscles stay relaxed. When you breathe out with that force, then those muscles begin to activate. So you're contracting your core now, really firming up your belly. I'd like you to continue to stay with this breath to build up that relationship between breath and powerhouse. As they work hand in hand, the energy that you give to your exhale is going to directly affect the energy to your core. So seeing if you can pull your abs in more deeply now each time you breathe out. Let's stay here for 4 more cycles of breath. Feeling all the sensation that is being created within. The movement of your body just due to your breath. Clearing the mind and staying focused. Mindful and present for your practice. On this last round of breath, I'll ask you to open the eyes. Once you've opened the eyes, when you breathe in next, I want you to slowly turn your head to look over your right shoulder. And then as you breathe out, you're going to turn the head slowly to look over then the left shoulder. Again, breathe in, head slowly swivels back to look over the right shoulder again. And then exhaling, transitioning over to the left shoulder again. 1 more to each side, just focusing on a little warming into of the cervical spine, a little rotational movement for the neck. And then exhale, returning back to the left. Bringing the head back to centered space. And then go ahead and bring the arms in close beside you next. So what I'd like it to do next is get into stretching out the front of the shoulder and a little bit of our chest. So I want to have you turn to look over your left shoulder, but keep your head in that position. Then you're going to imagine as if it were winter time, you're lying in the snow on your backside and you wanted to create those angel wings that we do when we're younger, right? So we're going to do that, but just with our right arm. The left arm stays as it is. So when you take an inhale, that right arm is going to sweep open to its side. It's going to start to stretch overhead behind you. And then as you breathe out, I want you to open the arm back out wide to its side and then pull the arm back in close to your side body. Again, inhale, arms circling overhead. And then exhale it, circling back down, semicircles. Let's go ahead and do 2 more here. Right arm out and up, breathing in. Exhale out and down, breathing out. Just trying to keep your arm in contact with the floor or as close to that you can. Inhale last time here. And then sweep down, keep the arm in close beside you here as you turn next to look over your right shoulder. Now the left arm, inhaling, circles overhead. And then exhale, you're going to circle it back down. Again, inhaling out and up. And then exhaling out and down. Let's do 2 more here. Inhaling. And exhaling. Last time, breathe it in, circle through. And then exhale, back down at your sides. Once both arms are there, we're going to bring our head back to a neutral space. Now we're going to kind of do a similar movement like that, but working both arms at the same time. The beginning part of the movement is going to be different, getting a little bit into the mobilization of the shoulder joints. So next breath in, I want you to take the arms, lift them to the sky and reach them back behind you overhead. And then as you breathe out, the arms open out and circle down. So that's where it remains the same right there. Let's do that again. When we reach arms overhead, I really want you to seal the ribs down, imprint your spine to the floor, and then open wide and circle through. Let's do 2 more of these. Feeling the movement really stemming from your shoulder joints here. Working on the mobility and the range of motion. One last time. This is also a core exercise, so belly firms when the arms reach back. Then circle out and back down close beside you. Once the arms are here, I want you to actively press them to the ground. Take a breath in. Use your abdominal strength on the exhale. Firm up belly, lift feet off floor, and slowly bring the knees into the chest. Hands on the knees for support. I'd like you to start to draw some circles with your legs. Your hands are used as guidance here. As you roll and massage out your lower back region just above the tailbone. Then take a moment to pause, reverse the direction. Big inhales. Slow and steady exhales. And then start to bring the legs back into still here. We're going to keep the legs centered. I want you to just open your arms out to a T. Really press the arms to the ground and the backs of the shoulders and your shoulder blades. I want us to do the same exact movement with our legs, but now I want us to really rely on our abdominal strength to support our lower back and to make it feel as though the legs are just along for the ride and your powerhouse is doing most of the work. Before, our hands were the support. Right now that we're going arms free, it's our belly. So inhale, let's start to shift the legs to one direction. Circle through, pause at center. Then let's switch sides. Inhale, shift to the left and circle through, belly strong, keeping the backs of hips now anchored to floor. Again, over to the right to start it, inhaling, circle through, clockwise motion, exhaling, pause there. Breathe in, you're going to shift over to the left side. Hips stay rooted, circle on through. Legs to center, let's do 1 more to each. Inhale to the right. And we shift over to the left, circling on through, returning the legs back to centered position. So kind of working a mix of stretching with also subtle core strengthening. So meaning we didn't have to use our abdominals to do that work, but when we do, it supports us much better and allows for the muscles to actually strengthen them as well. So let's take our hands back to our knees. We're going to work next with the mobility of the hips, and this will also help to stretch out the hip, or massage out rather, the hip flexors. Hands back to the knees. On an inhale, now we're going to separate the legs and open them up really wide. And then as you breathe out, you're going to circle the legs around, bring them back in together again. Inhale, separation, opening, pausing at the top. And then bring it on through, breathing out. Let's do 4 more of these. That subtle pause helps to really get those hips to really open, feeling it out. And then connecting back in. 3 more, just like that. Inhale. 2 more times, really making sure your hands always stay in contact with your knees here. One last time, inhale to separate, pulling apart, and then exhale to circle through. Once you have, place both hands to your right knee, extend your left leg to the ground and flex that foot so that leg anchors in. Using both of your hands, I want you to gently hug the leg to body, shoulders, and actively draw down away from the ears. We're stretching into the glute, we're stretching into the lower back. And as we hug our leg in, I want you to also draw some circles with your right foot to help roll out and warm into your ankle. We'll pause and then reverse direction. Wonderful. The foot then comes into still and your right arm extends out to its side. Press the shoulder to ground. Use your left hand for guidance and as many breaths as needed. You're going to slowly begin to cross that that right leg over to the left side. While you look over your right shoulder, gently ease yourself into a spinal twist. So you may notice that your exhale is going to help your body settle more. So each time you do breathe out, what can you let go of? What can become heavier in this space? Let's stay here for one more breath in. Breathing out, activate your core. Use that to unwind yourself and return back to center. Once you've centered, placing both hands back to your right knee. Breathe in while you're here. Now pull your belly in firm. Exhale, hover your left leg off of the floor. Keep pushing out through the heel so the leg stays really stiff, strong, and supported. We're also now using our abdominal strength pulled in tight to keep that leg in suspended space. Keep there as you breathe in. Now, as you breathe out, I want you to lift up slowly your head, your neck, and your shoulders, looking down towards your navel. Sweep the elbows out a little and drop the shoulders in a bit more deeply. Good. Holding here with our neck and shoulders from our core strength. Inhale again. Exhale, take those hands, release them from the knee and bring them behind your head. Widen your arms. So now we're hands free. That little bit of support there on the leg is now gone and the core takes hold. Take one more inhale. When you breathe out, pull the left leg in, lower the head and shoulders and place both hands onto your left knee. Stretch the right leg to the floor, push out through the heel. Using both hands, I want you to hug your left leg in closer to the body. Watch the shoulders. They do like to start to scrunch up to our ears, so we actively pull them down. And then I'd like you to begin to draw circles with your left foot, taking your time here. Rolling out the ankle. And then. The reverse direction of movement. Big inhales. Slow, strong, steady exhales. Foot then comes into still. Left arm extends out to its side. Using your right hand, as many breaths as you'd like, the leg starts to cross over to the right. And you begin to look over your left shoulder for rotation. We never have to rush into the space or even force it. Letting your breath guide you. Right? The breath really holds many powers for us, both physically and mentally. So the exhales will allow you to settle more. Your breath in allows your midsection to expand. And your exhales also allow your midsection to contract. Good. Give yourself another breath in. As you breathe out, the belly tightens up, the body unwinds, and we turn back to centered space. Both hands back to the knee. We'll take a breath in. Now our core engages and we hover our right leg off of the ground. Push out through the heel actively. Again, that leg is stiff, strong, and still. Take another inhale. Belly in firmer, more deeply. Lift up the head, the neck, the shoulders, eyes towards navel. Elbows out to drop the shoulders in. Good. Another inhale. Hands get released from the knee. They come behind the head and the elbows open wide so that we're not relying on arm strength to keep our head up. We're relying on our core strength. Good. Let's take another breath in. Breathing out, right leg pulls in, head and shoulders come down, hands on knees. A little bit of movement here to recover if you'd like, or stillness if you'd prefer. So again, it's time to kind of still going through the concept of stretching and strengthening a little bit. Let's continue on, returning our feet to the floor, arms beside us. Let's next take the right ankle and cross it over the left knee. Flex your right foot here to bring energy to the leg. And using a hand to the right inner thigh, pushing out on the leg to open up some more hip space. This is the cat's loving time, I guess, guys, sorry. Any variation of the figure 4 stretch that works for your body. So that could mean that you keep your left foot on the ground. You may decide to lift that left leg up and hold it with your hands. I want you to take a breath into your right hip. When you breathe out, I want you to lean to your left side and then notice a change in the right hip as you do that. Come back to center as you breathe in. Again, as you breathe out, we're going to lean over to the left. Feel out the right hip as you do. Come back to center on an inhale. And go ahead and do 3 more of these. Taking the time, feeling that transition. Again, exhale to the left. Inhale, bring it to center. One last time, we're going to lean to the left, breathing out. Returning back to center, breathing in, and then letting the stretch go. Both feet back to the floor again. Let's do it on the other side. Left ankle crossing, foot flexing, hand to inner thigh, pushing out. Once the hip has opened up a little more, coming into any variation on this side that you like. Shoulders away from ears, back of neck still long, the chin not poking up, it's still fist distance from the chest. Shifting your attention over to your left hip, take a breath into that space. When you breathe out, you're going to lean slowly over to the right. Come back to center as you breathe in. Let's do that again. Exhale, leaning to the right. Notice the change. Come back to center, breathing in. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 more of these. Generally speaking, when you lean your weight over to the side, the stretch drops a bit more around to the glute and sometimes can be a little bit more intense. Couple more. Exhaling. Breathing into center. One last time here. Exhale, a little shift over to the right. And come back to center. And then let go of that stretch and take both feet to the floor again. This time I'd like you to really make sure your ankles are slid beneath your knees. Let's next interlace fingers and take hands behind the head. Once again, we want to make sure our elbows stay opened wide for this exercise. We want to make sure we're working our abs, not our arms in this space. We're going to start with the head, neck, and shoulders lifted off the ground, eyes fixated on the belly button. If at any point in time it feels too much to keep the head up through center, you can always take it back down through center, but then lifting during the movement part of the exercise. So it's going to be a little bit of rotation of our upper body. Let's breathe in right at center. Breathing out, use your waistline to twist you a little bit over to the right. Return back to center as you breathe in. Make sure the legs don't shift at all. Let's rotate over to the left. Inhale. Center. Again to the right. Return to center, inhaling. Then to the left. Come back to center. Let's do 1 more to each. Back over to the right side again. So again, you can come down through center here. Then to the left side, picking up, lifting up, rotating. Let's come back through center, breathing in. If your head was still up as you breathe out, return it gently back to the ground. Arms in beside you again. 1 more little bit of a stretch here for our not our inner thighs, our hamstrings. Let's lift the right leg up to the sky. Hold on to the leg with both hands from behind. Anchor your tailbone to the floor. Start to push the leg into the hands and away from you. Then the hands, of course, are fighting that by drawing the leg in closer to body, making sure the leg doesn't start to bend. If we bent our knee, we've gone way too far. The leg is straight for a purpose, to get the deepest stretch, the back of the leg that you can. And as you hold this stretch here, I want you to also flex your right foot, heel to sky. And then point the toes. Again, flexing of your foot. And then pointing of your toes. Let's do that again. Heel to sky. And then point the toes. Let's go ahead and keep those toes pointed as we release our hands, take the arms beside us. And then what I'd like you to do is pull your right leg down so it levels off with your left thigh. So both thighs are lined up to each other. Then once there, I'd like you to take your arms, lift them to the sky, turn your palms to face in. Breathe in. As you breathe out, belly strong, lift up your head, neck, and shoulders. Let the arms pull forward just slightly enough so that you can reach your hands up towards your right foot. And then take your upper body down again, restack your arms. Exhale. Come back down to the floor again, breathing in. We're going to do that 2 more times. Lifting, belly pulls in deep. No momentum here. Lower, take an inhale. Once more. Bring the arms to hover. Pump the arms, move nothing else. For 5, good. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lower, foot down, arms, head and shoulders down to rest. So I'm gonna do all that on the other side, starting with our hamstring stretch. So left leg is gonna lift up, and you're gonna hold the back of the leg with your hands. You're going to anchor that tailbone back to the floor. Energy of the leg pushing forward, then energy of the hands pulling in, fighting each other just a little bit. Good, and you'll continue to hold this stretch. Flex the foot, heel to sky. And then point the toes. Again, heel to sky. And point. Once more here, flexing of your foot. Pointing of your toes. Keeping your toes pointed, the hands release, the arms come down for just a moment. Your left leg is going to lower down to the point where both of your thighs are parallel to each other. Then the arms will lift up, stack above shoulders. Take an inhale, palms turned in. As you breathe out, head, neck, and shoulders peel up slow, reach up to the foot, drop the shoulders in. Roll back down, restack the arms on an inhale. Again. And return back down with control. Check in with your legs again, readjust to line them up if you need to, twice more. Pulling up with your belly, not your neck. Yeah, come down on the inhale, restack those arms, make sure they're right above those shoulders. Once more, we're gonna lift up, head, neck, shoulders, arms pull forward slight to start. And once you've lifted up all the way, arms come down to hover, you steady in your breath as you pump the arms vigorously for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then rest. Foot down, head and shoulders down. Any movement here that you would like, or again, stillness if you would prefer. All right, and then if you had some movement here, we're going to come back into stillness. Drawing the knees then into the chest. We're going to work with some leg extensions. We're going to start with classic, then we're going to add on. Arms can be in close beside you, pressed to the ground. The arms can also be open to T for a little bit more support, or you can lift the arms back up for a little less support and a little bit more heat. Let's take an inhale. Both of your legs slowly on the exhale, extend away from the body. Make sure that you point out through the toes at the bottom of breath to come a little bit longer through them. And then pull the legs back in again. Inhale. Again, extension of your legs away from body, firm up your belly, imprint your spine to the floor, and then draw the legs back in again on an inhale. Let's do 4 more. 4. Pull it back in. 3 more. Draw it back in. 2 more times. Extension. Take the entire breath out to get to the space. Draw back in with the same pace. Last time here, extension of your legs, moving in a slow pace. Draw the knees back in again, and then recover for a moment. So we're going to do a few variations of our leg extension. Of course, that was our classic one. The next one is actually called frog press. So there's going to be a nice external rotation of the legs, and it's going to strengthen a lot into the hips. So we'll start with the knees pulled in again to body. This time I want the knees to open out a little bit wider than shoulder width. And I want you to flex your feet, and from there, the inner corners of your feet connect to each other. Oh, what am I doing? My hands are not behind my head. Arms beside you, open to T or lifted to sky. This one's a little bit more challenging or physically demanding for our hips. So just being aware of that. Taking an inhale. As you breathe out, I want you to slowly reach the legs out again like you just once had, and then really squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Pull the legs back in again. Remember, the knees are wide, the feet are in a V'd position. Exhale, extension of the legs, squeeze tight on the inner thighs. 4 more. Two more. When you're pulling the legs in, the feet are going to be tempted to narrow. Keep them in that V. Extend it all away. One last time. Draw legs in, wide knees, wide feet. Drive legs out. Bring the feet back to parallel. Knees pull into body, and you can recover. Yeah, so all those muscles surrounding the hip joints, really getting a nice, good strengthening there for the body. Wonderful. We're going to do one more set with leg extension. So what we'll do is we'll extend the legs like we classically have, but once they are extended, we're going to take some flutter kicks. So that's just a simple paddling up and down of the legs. But the paddling movement, oftentimes we focus on the feet doing it, and then we kind of look a little wobbly in the rest of our legs. So the movement should be stemming from your hips and the lower abdominal region. So because we're adding in flutter kicks, the extension of our legs is going to be a little bit quicker due to the steady release of our exhale. We want to be able to contain both of those two things with an exhale, right? The extension of the legs and then the 4 count of flutter kicks that are going to be added. So let's start with the knees pulled in, arms either close in or open to T for this one. So we can really just focus on the mechanism of movement within our hips. Take an inhale to prepare. Extend out a little bit more quickly now as you breathe out. Point your toes and flutter kick. 4, 3, 2, 1. Big, deep inhale. Extension point toes, exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the legs in. We've got 4 more. Use the backs of your arms as a support system. Press them down. Exhaling, extension of legs, pointing through toes. 4, paddle through hips. 3, belly tight. 2, 1, draw the knees in again. We're going to do 3 more like that. Extension, point, paddle. 4, 3, 2, 1, draw knees in, breathe in, big, big, full. 2 more. That was a long one. Last one. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then knees pull in, hands on knees, recover, recover, recover. All righty, let's go ahead and come back into stillness. I think we're gonna start getting prepped up into our roll-up position. So let's go ahead and lengthen the legs all the way to the floor, pushing out through the heels, lifting the toes up to the sky, stretching the arms back behind you. Drop the shoulders down more away from ears. Seal the ribs more closely towards the spine and really imprint your spine to the ground. Let's breathe in and start to lift head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, continue to pull the body to upright seated position. I want you to hinge from your hips and fold forward over your legs. Head heavy, feet still flexed, body stretched. Inhale, we'll stack up nice and tall. Breathing out, you'll tuck your tailbone under. Keep energy through the feet still as you slowly make your way to the ground again. And we start over. Begin lifting on an inhale. Don't stop, pause, or hesitate. Exhale, smooth transition up to seated, and then a deep fold over legs. Upright, take an inhale. Coming down slow. On the exhale, make sure you still look straight on. The chin stays in its neutral space. If you want more of a challenge, keep your arms framing your ears throughout the movement. Start your lift breathing in. When it gets really tricky, really push that breath out. Hold. Inhale to come upright. And then arms slightly behind the ears while you come down. Let's do it one more. If you want to take hands on your forehead, feel free to do that variation of roll up. Inhale, start it up. This time we'll inhale to step nice and tall. We're going to stay seated. We're just going to exhale to take the arms down beside us. Beautiful. I am going to go ahead and take a quarter turn to face the camera. You guys can stay as you are. It's just going to be a little bit more easier for you to visually follow through if you have any kind of questions about where should my body be in this space, right? That way you can see me a little bit better and it makes more sense. So I want us to start with spine twist first. I want us then to do a couple of spine stretches, and then we're going to combine those two movements, blend them a little bit more, and come into what's called saw. So first is spine twist. The arms are going to come out to a T. Palms face down. This time you're reaching fingertips from one side of the room to the other. Then the shoulder blades draw in and down your back, while the chest comes up and your belly pulls in nice and tight. Your feet are flexed, your legs are squeezed, and if you need to, bend your knees a little bit so that you can sit really upright. And let's take an inhale. This is a waistline strengthener. When you breathe out, use your core strength to twist you to the right. Get taller as you rotate, but don't let your left arm continue to pull across. I want you to feel resistance of that left arm pulling back. And then return to center, breathing in. Now we'll take it to the right, or excuse me, to the left, growing taller as you twist. Right arm, though, resists you in space. Legs should not be shifting. Return back to center, breathing in. Let's take it again over to the side, breathing in, coming through center, and then over to the left. Eyes move along the horizon. Come back through center as you breathe in. Float the arms down as you breathe out. So, spine twist, really good for rotational movement, to focus on posture, to strengthen the waistline, but also you felt that a lot in the shoulders and upper back, yeah? Yeah, so just holding our arms in that position really helps to strengthen our muscles. I'm going to go ahead and take another quarter turn to face what would be the front of my mat for you guys. This is more of a profile view of spine stretch. So I'm going to demonstrate really briefly the things you should be looking for in this exercise and the things that you should try to avoid doing in this exercise. So our legs are still going to be extended out in front of us. We're going to be sitting up really tall. Arms are going to extend out in front as well. So noticing here, I have to bend my knees. If my legs are straight, My pelvis kind of tilts forward. My hip flexors are gripping, and then I can't really sit upright because it starts to plunge my lower back. So when I bend my knees, I can neutralize my pelvis, I can sit up taller, and my lower back has zero compression. So again, something that might be part of your body as well, and it's okay to do this. Arms extended forward, shoulders plugged down, chest lifts up. So what you want to see in your spine stretch is this. Breathing in, chin to chest. Breathing out, scoop out your belly, round your spine, pull your spine back, but stretch your fingers forward. Stay here for an inhale. Then on the exhale, start to stack up. Head is the last thing to come up. So that's how you want to envision it. Essentially, your shoulders never move from being stacked above your hips. So two things really briefly you want to avoid doing is this. Notice, yeah, I've pulled myself back, but my shoulders followed. So I'm not getting that same quality and core strength because I'm trying to fight myself in opposing directions when I'm doing that. This, I'm kind of almost collapsing back, okay? So that's one thing you want to avoid. Here's another thing you want to avoid. Just to fold forward. Sure, it stretches your backside, which is wonderful, but then again, the core gets released. So it's really about how much of that same shape you can create both in the backside and the front side, all the while keeping the structure of hips and shoulders. So let's go ahead and do these 4 times. This is an abdominal exercise, believe it or not. Let's go ahead and extend the arms forward. Sit up tall. Breathing in, chin to chest. Breathing out, scoop up your belly, round your back, but also feel the fingertips begin to reach forward. You're stretching in opposite ways. Stay here, breathing in. And stacking back up, one vertebra at a time. Head is the last thing to come up. You know what? We're just going to do that one more. You know what? 2 more times. Let's meet in the middle. Chin to chest on an inhale. Exhale, round spine, reach forward, scoop up the belly, exhale. Then breathe into your back body here. Inhale. Stacking up again. Exhaling one more time, chin to chest, breathing in. Exhale, rounded, reaching, scooping. Inhale to the back side. And then exhale, stacking the vertebra. Head is the last thing to come up. Wonderful, let the arms come down. So, I'm gonna take another quarter turn. I'm going to also briefly demonstrate saw. Saw is a little bit more complex. There's a lot of moving parts and parts that we should be aware of and engaging. So kind of breaking it down really briefly so that when we do get into it at full pace, you'll know what to look for within. So what you're going to do here is separate the legs. So they're, I'd say the inside edges of your mat. And if you don't have a mat like me, you're just going to take your feet out a little bit wider than shoulder width. And your feet are going to be flexed here in this space. So again, like I had mentioned, it's a little bit of a blend of spine twist and spine stretch. So we are going to begin with our arms in a teed position. What is going to happen here is you're going to take an inhale to twist your upper body to the right. Then as you breathe out, your left arm is going to reach across and try to saw off the right pinky toe with the left pinky finger. Your right arm is reaching behind you, flip the palm to face up to the sky, and then press your tricep to the sky. Also in this space, your chin is to your chest, and you're having that spine stretch portion of your midsection, scooped up belly, rounded out spine. So you're not folding in it, you're not pulling away from it. You're doing that same concept there, okay? And then you're gonna come back through center. So let me do it as a side profile so you can see that scooping of belly. So now we're gonna twist over to the left, breathing in. Then exhale, right pinky sews off left pinky toe, back palm flips, press to sky, and I'm scooping my belly away from my thighs. And then come back through center. So we're going to do this next on pace. So I'm going to go ahead and turn around again here. So inhaling, rotate to the right. Saw off on the exhale. Then as you breathe in, we'll unravel and then twist to the left. And then exhale. Saw, flip the back palm up. Inhale through center to the right. Saw. Come back up, breathe in, rotate to the left. And then saw off. One more to each. Return to center as you breathe in. Float the arms down as you breathe out. Good. Kind of roll out those shoulders. Wonderful. So just kind of doing newer things that we haven't done in quite some time for our practice. All right, we're going to go ahead and transition next onto our stomach side. So stomach side to strengthen our back body, which is still considered our core, remember. So our glutes are part of our core. Our lower back muscles are part of core. The rector spinae, the muscles that kind of run along sides of your spine, also considered core. So we're going to activate all that. Let's start with our hands slid underneath the shoulders. So finding a sweet spot for your hands here. If your hands are too pulled back, the elbows point to the sky. We want the elbows to be pointing back to the heels. If your hands are too far forward, your forearms are going to be grounded. We don't want our forearms grounded. We want them lifted up. So it's a sliding back and pulling down. Elbows point to your heels. Your forehead is going to be grounded to start. I'm just lifted here in my head so that you can hear me while I speak. Taking a breath in here. Breathing out, hug between your shoulder blades, pull them down the back as you lift up your head and your chest as one solid piece. So we're never going to push our chin forward. That compresses the back of our neck. So chin is still fist distance away from. And then float back down, breathing in. So when you come up again, I want you to press your pelvis to the ground. I want you to hug the shoulder blades in and down and lift up the head and the heart. The energy of your hands trying to drag back to your feet. Come back down, breathing in. We're going to do 2 more of these. Come down on the inhale. One last time, exhale, shoulder blades draw in, down the back. Hips press in, bag of neck long, so you're reaching forward through the crown of your head. And then go ahead and lower back down to the floor again. Once you've come down, I want you next to cross one arm over the other. Then rest your forehead on the arms like a pillow. Again, my head is just going to be turned here so you can hear me a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of add to that movement. It's going to be a little bit more challenging. And what it's also going to start to activate are the middle back muscles. So we're kind of working with upper back to start, then it's going to start to travel down our back side. So this is a 4-step movement. And we link it to our breath. Forehead on the arms. When you breathe in, you're going to lift up your head and your chest, just like you once had in that last movement. Keep the head here. Now, as you breathe out, I want you to pull your arms to draw up to your hairline. There are those middle back muscles taking hold. Then we're going to lower the arms down on an inhale. Then the head and chest down on the exhale. To provide more mobility of movement when you lift up your arms, slide out to stack your hands instead. Okay. We'll do that again. Inhale, head and chest come up first. Keep them there. Exhale. Arms to hairline. Then just the arms come down on the inhale. Then the head and chest come down on the exhale. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale, head and heart come up. Stay here. Exhale. Arms to forehead. Inhale, take just the arms down. Exhale, the head and chest down. Last one, last one. Inhale, head and heart up. Press those hips down. Exhale. Lift just the arms. Then just the arms come back down on the inhale. And then just the head and heart come down on the exhale. Beautiful. All right, continuing to work our way down our back body, lower back and glutes. Your hips are very, very, very important for this exercise. They're not just kind of relaxed on the ground. They are actively pressing down, pubic bone included. So your pelvic triangle, 2 things that's going to help you to do. Number 1, it's going to protect your lower back because now what you've done is you secured and you stabilized your pelvis. If the pelvis rocks up, it compresses lower back. When it's neutralized and your tailbone stretches
straight back to your heels. There's all this space and openness in the lower back region. Also, having that pelvic triangle as your anchor is going to help you lift your body parts a lot more easily. So, working with our legs here. Take a breath in. When you breathe out, squeeze your glutes and lift both legs off the ground. Point those toes and reach as far back as you can. Let the legs come down on a breath in. Again, as you breathe out, squeeze the glutes and lift up the thighs. Take the legs down, breathing in. 4 more of these. 4. Lower the legs. 3 more, squeeze and lift. Take them down. 2 more times, activate before pulling up. Release down with resistance. 1 more time, squeeze the glutes, lift up the thighs, keep them lifted, paddle your legs, move from the hip joints. Breathe steadily here. Good, keep the paddle. Let's uncross the arms, extend them out in front and lift up your arms, your head, your chest, and paddle the arms here too, right into swimming, swimming, swimming. Breathe with fire. 5, 4, 3, keep that chest up. 2, keep on breathing. 1, and then rest. Cross the arms again, rest the head down, bend your knees, lift your feet to sky, windshield wiper your legs side to side, or you can crisscross them. Either one is fine. This is just a nice way to release out that lower back. Good, then let's stretch the legs behind us, hug the legs together. Let's slide the hands back underneath the shoulders, very gently. Ease back into a closed-legged child's pose. Take your time as we're coming from a back bend to the opposite. So you want to be gentle coming in. Sometimes it's nice to kind of wiggle and rock, sending those sit bones further back towards the heels. And then finding some stillness in this space. When you find stillness, I want you to take a big breath into your lower back. Long breath out to let it go. Again, breathing into your lower back. Exhaling it out. 1 more here. Inhale deep. As you breathe out, begin to come out of child's pose, stacking up towards seated. All right, we're going to move into some side leg work next. So let's go ahead, all of us, and lie down on our left side body. Checking time here too, guys. Oh, perfect. So we got enough time to work on those hips. So lying on your left side, make sure you're in a long line of energy and you're stacked up. Legs are stacked, hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. Taking your right hand onto your hip and make sure that elbow points up to the sky. Flex both of your feet to push out to the heels. The left side of your body pushes down into the floor. The top leg hovers and the leg slightly rolls in. Reason being, we don't want the toes to angle up because then the quad takes over, which is not a bad thing. We just don't want to focus on that right now. We want the outer hip to do the work. So let's stay here as we breathe in. As you breathe out, using your hip strength to pull that right leg up a little higher. Your belly also pulled in tight. Hover the leg as you breathe in. Again, exhale, pull the leg up, push through the heel. Hover the leg with resistance. I just figured out why the cat's so lovey right now. It's past his feeding time. 4 more times with the lift. 4. Oh yeah, he knows how to ham it up when he wants some food, right? Hover. I'm sure a lot of you cat owners can relate to that. 3 more, lifting. Notice if your elbow had shifted at all to bring it back to where it started, pointing due north. 2 more times. Noticing how we're not using momentum here. We're strictly using muscle strength to pull that leg up, controlling it on the way back down. 1 last time, let's exhale, pull that leg up. Let's only take it down half of the way this time. Once it's there, I want you to point the toes, feel the leg really lock out. It's from your hip you draw the movement from. Circles with that right leg.
Take your time, start really small, really slow, as we don't want our upper body to start jostling around or wobbling around. So we're using more core strength to support the upper body while this leg takes that circular movement. Breathe, good. 3, 2, 1. Pause, reverse the direction. Inhale, exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Bring the leg back into still and reflex your foot. Now we're going to pulse it towards the sky. Little lift, emphasizing upward motion, never the dropping in of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that leg slowly comes back down. Once it has, we're going to bend that knee to the floor in front and we're going to tap out that hip. Breaking up lactic acid, it gets built up pretty quickly when we do those leg movements. So just getting it kind of spread out, released, letting go of that discomfort. Wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and take that right leg, stretch it back out to meet the left. If you're propped up like I am on your hand with your head, go ahead and lower it down to your left arm. Reach your right arm to the sky, turn the palm forward, spread the fingers and plug that shoulder head into its socket. Pointed toes, let's hug the glutes and legs tightly towards each other. And let's take a breath in. Waistline on the exhale is going to lift up your head and the legs. Little tiny lift here. And then take it down as you breathe in. Again, hug the legs in, lift up head, lift up both of those legs. Reach those toes. Come down as you breathe in. A couple more. Exhale, cinch in the right side body. When you're coming up, that left arm should be nice and relaxed. It's just hanging out. Lower back down as you breathe in. With this last one, I want you to lift up your head and I want you to lift up both of your legs and I want you to stay in this lifted space. I want you to take tiny little flutter kicks with both of your legs, trying to keep that extended arm still, still, still for 3, 2, tiny paddles. 1, pause. Now very slow and bigger now, scissors. Really take your time because the idea here is we don't want our right arm to move and it's really tricky to do that if we're moving quickly. So we take our time. For 3, a nice good range of motion in these legs here, scissoring. 2, use your core for balance. 1, good. Let the legs come back together and then let everything come down, release. Wonderful. We're going to do that on the other side. So however it's easiest for you to transition, lying onto our right side body next. I'm going to slide back more. I know you didn't see my hand for that one, and that's kind of a key factor, right? We want to make sure there's no flags, right? But flag poles, yeah, when we do that. I know, but we're almost there. So straight line. Now the dog's in it. Yeah. Straight line, buddy. Yeah, thank you. Want to go lay down? All right, flexed feet. I'm being bombarded. Left hand on the hip, elbow to the sky. Okay, guys, for real though. All right, right side of your body is pressed down. Top leg is covered, slightly rolled in. We look straight on. And we exhale to pull that left leg up with the strength of our hip. Hover the leg on an inhale. Exhale, pull the leg up. And then hover down with resistance. 4 more times. When you're pulling the leg up, make sure the toes don't start angling towards sky. Hover. 3 more, by golly. They are really pounding for snacks. Hover the leg. 2 more times. We're going to lift. We're going to hover. 1 last time, y'all. Let's lift up that leg. Let's take that leg half the way back down and point the toes. We draw some circles from here. Feel the belly pulling in much tighter now to really support, and also really rely on your bottom leg as an anchor. Press it down. 3, 2, 1. Let's pause. Reverse the direction. Breath in, breath out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then pause again, stillness, flex that foot once more and pulse it, lifting, 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 micro movement. Emphasize up, not down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, the leg comes slowly down to the floor. Bending your knee to the ground in front and then tapping out the hip. I wonder if the dog, he just keeps staring at me. I wonder if he's like, who the heck is she talking to right now? Has no idea. All right, guys. I hope you can see some of me here at least. We're going to go ahead and stretch that left leg back out. We're going to rest on the right arm if we were propped up. We're going to lift our left arm to the sky, spread fingers, locked in shoulder, toes pointed, legs and glutes are squeezed tight. We take an inhale. Exhale, cinch in left side body, lift up head, lift up legs. Come down on the breath in. Again, slowly pull it up. We don't have to get there quick. Use the entire breath out to do it. Come back down on an inhale. We're going to do 4 more here. 4. And come down. 3 more. Bring it all the way back down, breathing in. 2 more times. Remember that bottom arm not being used for support. Lower on an inhale. 1 last time, we're going to lift our head. We're going to lift our legs. We're going to keep lifted here. We're going to flutter kick the legs, tiny paddles. Breathe. 3. Arms steady here, lifted. 2. 1. Good. Then slow it down and take your time. Big, big scissors here. The top leg pulling out in front is going to be the hardest part of this one. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Legs come together and then everything comes down. Whew. All right, when you guys are ready, we are going to press up to seated. We're going to stretch out those hips, checking in time just to see where we're at. Beautiful, beautiful. So soles of your feet are going to come together. Hands at the feet, the ankles or the shins, whichever allows you to stack upright. Hinge in from the hips to lean in towards the legs. You always want to be looking beyond, always beyond. If we start looking down, we round our spine, we lose our stretch. So heart stretching forward. We're going to round lower back, middle back, upper back, head comes down partially. Still look beyond your toes. Breathe big into the hips. Release it out. Again, breathe in big to the hips. And then breathe it out. Once more here, inhale deep. As you breathe out, begin to slowly restack, lower back, middle, upper, head's the last thing to come up. Once it has come up, we're gonna cross our legs. Let's scooch back so you can see most of this. My head isn't propped up. Sitting up tall, arms beside us. Let's take the right arm on an inhale, sweep it up and to the sky. And then as we exhale, stretch over to the left. Take a big breath into that right side body. Then exhale, stacking up nice and tall. Let's do that to the other side. Left arm sweeping up, lined up with the ear. And then we stretch over to our left side. Good, take a big inhale to the right side body, or left side body, I'm sorry. And then exhale, stacking up and taking that arm back down beside you again. Now we're going to turn both palms to face the sky. As we breathe in next, the arms reach out, they lift up and the hands lightly touch above the head. As you breathe out, hands slowly to heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep down, reach out, lift up, light connection above. And then exhale, beautiful connection within. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, guys, arms to sky, gather up that energy and hold it above you. And then take that energy and bring it within inside of you. Hands to your heart, keep them there. Chin to your chest, bow to yourself, head to heart, heart to head. In this space, giving yourself some thanks for doing the work, for showing up, for listening to your body, and for giving yourself an opportunity to perhaps understand it just a little bit more each and every time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Look for more of these to come, and I'll see you all soon. Wonderful practice, guys. Thanks so much. My cat and dog say thank you too, because now they get to have dinner. All right, guys, I will see you all soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.